not dropping so many frames when playing the actual game, so Fortnite, while also maintaining a good quality stream. And I'm just going to be giving you guys the ins and out, everything you need to know when setting up your OBS, so you won't want to miss anything I mentioned in this video. Make sure you do watch to the end. You don't want to miss anything important, so I can only recommend you watch the entire video. If you do enjoy this, the least you can do for me is drop a like, slap that like button, ready to support the channel. We've been setting like goals. Today's like goal, let's set a like goal of 350 likes. Now that is the biggest like goal I have ever set. Like, I think we smashed 300 likes on the last video in the first 24 hours. So the first 24 hours of this video, 350 likes would be insane. I know we can do it. You know, I've already said it so many times. My naughty gang, way too strong. Slap the like button, city. If you want to go the extra mile, you can subscribe to the channel, post notifications on, all of that good stuff. Therefore, you never miss an upload. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible. Let's just hop straight into this. Okay, so I'm over on my desktop right now. You guys can see this is what I'm recording through. I actually also record on OBS. My OBS is gonna look a little different to yours. Kind of got mine set out for my stream because I do live streams, so it does look very much different to yours. Yours is gonna look a little more simple. Also, just to point out, I'm using OBS Studio, so like the original OBS. I'm not using Streamlabs OBS, which is this little guy down here. You can't really see it. I got this text in the way. Well, let me get rid of it. There you go. This application down here. You don't want to be using this one. You don't want to be using Streamlabs OBS. Now, basically, Streamlabs OBS, it just takes a lot more load on your system, your PC. Maybe if you have a low-end system, a low-end PC, it's just not good to use. And if you want to prioritize Fortnite performance while also streaming, you don't want to drop frames, any of that, you want to be using the original OBS. So this OBS Studio. So make sure you do have this same OBS as me. But the main thing we want to do is tamper with the settings in here to make this basically as optimized as possible. Now the main settings, we'll just quickly go through them. I guess stream, you want to make sure you have all your stream connected. I think this is more just like self-explanatory. You guys probably know this. We're optimizing stuff. We're not showing you how to set up a specific Twitch stream. This is like, you just select your service. I've literally like connected my Twitch to my OBS here. The main thing we want to worry about is output. Now I'm recording, so unfortunately I can't can change certain things. It kind of limits me here, but what you want to do is head over to your streaming output and set your output mode at the top to advanced. It's kind of grayed out, but you can see you want it set to advanced. And the first thing we're going to discuss is encoder. So what encoder is, it's basically what you're going to encode and run your stream through. So there's going to be two options, NVIDIA NVENC or NVENC. Let's just call it NVENC for the point of this video. And then you should also see Software X264. And all you need to know is Software X264 is your processor. So you're encoding your stream on your processor. And NVIDIA NVENC is where you're encoding your stream through your graphics card, so your GPU. And short and simple, the rule for this is if you're streaming on a single PC, so a one PC setup, you don't have a separate streaming PC, but I stream on a single PC, most people do. What you want to do is be encoding on NVIDIA NVENC. Now you won't have NVIDIA NVENC. I just call it NVENC for this video. If you do not have an NVIDIA graphics card, I guess it's kind of an issue. If you don't have an NVIDIA graphics card, you want to be encoding on your CPU. It's like the only option you have, so Software X264. But if you do have NVIDIA graphics card, you'll see this option, NVIDIA NVENC H.264 new. So make sure it is a new version. I don't know what driver install you need, but I'm pretty sure as long as you have anything above 441.41, which is my current driver, this will work. And two options there usually is NVENC and NVENC new. Make sure it's on this exact setting right here. And just so you know why this is and how this works, basically your PC has two processors. So your central processor and your graphics processor, like two separate processors kind of on your PC. You don't really think of your graphic card as a processor, but it's a GPU. So yeah, GPU stands for graphics processing unit. CPU is central processing unit. The reason you want to encode on your GPU is solely because Fortnite is CPU bound. Now, if you're encoding your entire stream on one single PC with your CPU, what that means is your CPU is now having so much load on it to the point where Fortnite is either one of the processors, so either your Fortnite, your actual game, or your stream are going to need to be prioritized. So it's like one or the other. Now that means one of them is going to be running bad. So now if your Fortnite is being prioritized and you've got your performance all onto Fortnite, what this means is now your Fortnite is running better than your stream, and your stream is going to look super bad and choppy and laggy. And now if your Fortnite is going to be really laggy, you have all your focus and performance on your OBS. What that then means is your OBS may look good and it may run smooth, but your games is just generally your performance, FPS is going to be terrible. And as Fortnite is actually CPU bound, very much dependent on your CPU, you want to basically ensure no other load is being put onto your CPU. So then you GPU encode, and that means your CPU then can be fully focused onto just Fortnite and kind of just Fortnite only. And then your stream is running completely off an entire different processor kind of. Hopefully I explained that well, but it's simple as you want your encoder on NVIDIA NVENC. And then moving down here, I'm just going to show you the other settings I may as well while I'm here. Rate control you want on CBR. Bitrate, you really want to do internet tests. I think if I can, I'm going to put a screenshot on screen which gives you recommended bit rates for your upload speed. So bitrate's all kind of dependent on your upload speed. I think in the UK, I can't get any higher than 50 megabytes per second of upload. I think I'm around 50 to like 70, and that's my upload speed. That can support 6000 bitrate, so 6K bitrate. So just know that. I think basically if you don't have over 40 upload, like I say that at minimum, you can't use 6K bitrate. So if you're below 40 upload, 40 megabytes per second on your upload speed, you can run a speed test. What you want to be doing is using anywhere from 3200 to 4K bitrate. You can obviously experiment, test with it, but again, I'll try and show like a graph on screen, and this should show and give you recommended bit rates for your internet speed, if I can find that to put on screen. But hopefully that makes sense. It's all dependent on your upload, so you can only copy this if you have similar upload speed to me. Everything else, obviously, if you want to focus performance and your game to still look good, I have my preset set to quality. Now the difference isn't too predominant, but basically quality will ensure that your stream basically just looks a little bit better. And obviously if you have it on performance, what that means is performance is focused over that, so you'll get more FPS in game. Quality will lower FPS just a little bit within Fortnite, but it depends what you want to focus. Either your gains performance when you're streaming, either way you're still gonna have a good looking stream, or if you want to focus solely performance on your stream, you will lose slight FPS in Fortnite, but it ain't a big difference. Isn't a be all or end all. For the most part, if you have a really low end PC, I do suggest you have this on performance. My PC isn't too bad, so I have mine on quality here. Profile, you always want to set to high. Cycle visual tuning, I have mine ticked. I've heard these are the most optimized, best settings. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know so much about this. There's like a little definition description right here you can see on screen. Honestly, you're gonna have to search that one up yourself. For the most part, have it turned on, I guess. And yeah, the rest you just want to copy. Audio really doesn't matter. And then the next thing we're gonna go into, this is another really big thing, is video. So you want to copy these settings, I guess. They are grayed out, sorry about that. You can kind of see a little bit better hopefully here. Your base canvas, you always want to have this on 1920 by 1080, or your monitor's like native resolution basically. And then your output scaled resolution, this is where you can scale down your resolution, and actually this will be what your viewers are seeing, so the quality of viewers are seeing the streamer. So 1600 by 900, which means the maximum quality they can watch the streamer is 900p. I can change this to 1280 by 720, and I think that's 720p, or I can put this as 1920 by 1080, which then be 1080p. Now internet really does take a play on this, like your internet speed. If you are 6K bitrate, you can 100% take this to 1080p and it is gonna kind of work. But if you are anything lower than that, even I'm 6K bitrate and I'm running this on 900p, because I think 1080p is kind of overkill, like it really is. So yeah, I don't know, for the most part, 900p, 1600 by 900. On your output scaled resolution, you should downscale to this. Downscale filter, this is another really important one. It's so annoying how I can't actually show you, but downscale filter, you want to have this set to bicubic. Now, you can obviously higher it. The higher you have it, it will take it to 32 samples. I think it's called Lanczos, and that is 32 samples. That's like the next filter you can go to, and that's like an up from this. What that would do is it will increase your quality, but it isn't that much of a difference. And basically having it any higher than this, so 32 samples, which is Lanczos, that will give you input lag. So you'll also get performance drop and you'll get input lag. Like the difference is huge. You can test it while you don't even have to stream. You can record and test it and change your downscale filter and see the difference. Basically, it's proven that Lanczos really does add a ton of input delay onto your game, specifically Fortnite. So if you really want to focus performance for your game, you want your game to still feel very good, I recommend having this set to bicubic. And your common FPS value, you want to have this always set to 60. And now that's out the way, the actual settings. The only other thing I can recommend is things on your screen. So like having like animations. So if I want to have like this sub goal little thing down here, as you can see, it's just kind of added onto the recording. I want this sponsor banner, which I have on the side. I usually have this when I stream, like this use code fetch thing at the bottom, anything like that. Even just like animation, so you can now see the sponsor banners on, it's kind of animated and it goes through the different sponsors. Things like this, they actually do higher your CPU percentage down here, so a lot of you guys won't be able to see this, but this is like your CPU percentage, how much percentage of CPU this program is taking, so what OBS is taking. Right now it's taking roughly 2.7 to like 3%, I think. It does keep peaking here and it does drop a little bit below. It's fluctuating quite heavily, but let's say it's on 2.7 to 3.1%, let's say that. Now if I was to maybe disable the sponsor banner and I was to disable things such as my alerts right here, which aren't actually running but they're there, the use code fetch text, this should actually lower. So yeah, right here I'm actually now getting my lowest is 2%. I'm going like 2.5. Let's see the highest I get. I think 2.5 is the highest right here. Okay, yeah, so now I'm not going anywhere over 2.5. Previously I was getting up to like 3.1%, so it's not the biggest difference. Oh, the highest there I've got 2.7, but yeah, it's not the biggest difference. You can see it has dropped. It isn't as high anymore, and that's because I've disabled some of these things. Like for the most part, they're not not going to add so much CPU and like load onto your CPU, but they definitely do something. And the more animations and things you have on your screen, the more complicated your stream is. What that's going to do is just add load onto your CPU, and it will lower performance and can make your stream lag, your game lag, anything like that. So minimalize basically how many sources and scenes you have. Just kind of keep your stream as simple as possible. And then the next thing I'm going to mention is basically this right here. You want to right click your preview. So this is your preview right here. You want to right click this and untick this, and it will disable your preview. Now things like that won't make the world of a difference, but again, having it turned off will help performance and it will increase your FPS. And now the final thing I'm going to mention you guys do, that would be to run OBS as administrator. Now I actually got this tip from a guy called Alpha Gaming on YouTube. Shout out to them. Now if you literally just do something as simple as running this as administrator, it will help with performance. Like trust me, you can try it for yourself, and you will get less stream like FPS drops, because usually your stream can drop frames. You'll get less of that. So this is more if your stream is dropping frames itself and your PC can't handle the stream. This will help with that. And yeah, that is it for the video, guys. There really isn't much more I want to talk about. All I wanted to really show you is my own like OBS settings, tell you guys that you need to be on studio, make sure you understand like the whole encoding situation, that Langsos gives you input lag, you should be on bicubic, and just simple small things like that. Like there's not much more than that. There's no secret to it. It's just a few simple steps, a few things you can change, which really do make the world of a difference.